to another edition of the Mayor Dalina Show. I am the proud mayor of Monroe Township, Stephen Dalina, and I welcome you. Monroe Township enjoys a reputation for being one of the safest cities, towns in New Jersey. This is due into large part of the strong partnership between our top-notch police department and you, the Monroe Township community. I've heard from residents and neighbors about their concerns about the recent car thefts, and I, like everyone else, share that concern. That's why I am doing this show, to communicate with our residents about the actions we are taking to keep you and your family safe. We take tremendous pride in our long-standing Safest Cities ranking, which underscores the hard work and dedication to the safety that our police and community strive for day in and out. In fact, we just received word that Monroe Township is the 6th safest city in New Jersey, according to SafeWise. Congratulations, Monroe. It is important to note that these rankings are based on real data. They are compiled from third-party independent analysis of FBI crime statistics and population data, which is derived from information in each municipality's computer-aided dispatch, otherwise known as the CAD system. Despite this positive news, certain crimes are on the increase throughout New Jersey and the country. We continue to experience, like other neighboring towns and communities, an increased number of auto thefts. These crimes are not germane to Monroe Township. They are happening throughout the county, state, and the nation. But rest assured, the Monroe Township Police Department, led by Chief Michael Biennas, has his finger on the pulse of the community and is continually collaborating with neighboring towns and state law enforcement to prevent crime and to bring offenders to justice. Since 2017, the department has grown from 55 to 67 officers. The department consists of a detective bureau, a juvenile youth services bureau, a domestic unit, a traffic safety bureau, and has an officer assigned to senior crime prevention. Here with me today are Chief Biennas, Lieutenant Griffin Banos, and our business administrator, Alan Weinberg, to discuss this topic further. So let's start with the first question, obviously, why we're here. The crimes that we've seen pop up since pretty much the pandemic, but specifically this past summer, are car thefts. Can you enlighten the citizens a little bit about what's going on here in Monroe and perhaps what we're doing to try to prevent those crimes?
First off, Mary, thank you for having us on your show. Second of all, I'd just like to say throughout this show, we're going to be, me and the lieutenant, we're going to be stressing the facts that a lot of these and most of these crimes that are on the rise are crimes of opportunity. These people, and actually the majority of them are kids. They come down, or they come into town, they just walk up and down these streets, and they try car doors. If the car door is open, they look for the fob or they look for valuables. If they don't find the fob or valuables, what they do is they'll see if there's a garage door opener, and they'll hit that and they'll see if they can get in. So most of these are crimes of opportunities. As I say, to stop this, the best way to stop this is make sure your keys and your valuables are out of your car, your doors are locked, I mean your garage door and the door going from your garage into your house, and that your out of your car is your garage door opener, and obviously keys. That's the first thing I like to say. I also like to say it's great that we're ranked 6th, and we're the only one in Middlesex County to be ranked in this. And as you said, it's done off the CAD system. It's a third-party evaluation of the crime and the crime stats. It's an honor to be that way, and it's actually tough to stay that way, and we've been that way consistently for years now. I'm very proud of the men and women I have in my department that make this possible. With that being said, though, people say, "Oh, you're the 6th safest in the state, the only one in Middlesex County that made the list." Crime does happen, just like in any place. Crime happens. As I said, and as I said at the beginning, most of the crimes are crimes of opportunity, but they do still happen. Monroe is not unique, and as you said and as you stated, this is not a Monroe problem. This is not a county problem. This is a state problem, and it's actually, and it's going even more than that. It's probably more of a tri-state problem. This ranges all the way from up north to down south. In addressing this, we've absolutely increased patrols. You got to understand, it's not one area. If we get hit in one area one night, say on the north side of town, you pass it on in briefing, they actually concentrate on the north side of town, and lo and behold, they're getting hit on the south side of town. So you can't, I can increase patrols or make them, obviously, my best bet is to have them in their areas and find, checking all areas. We've had, these thefts have occurred from the retirement communities to the north side of town, to the south side of town, to the center of town. So, I mean, this is not a unique problem. All the cars that have been stolen so far, as I said before, had the keys in it. It's not the olden days. It's not in the past where
I get you, and
it's not in the past where people were hot wiring cars.
Right.
And it's very easy, especially today with the fobs. You leave them in the car, you get in, you press the button, and you go. The criminal nowadays is actually more educated, than a lot of people. They know the law. They know the law better than us. And the Attorney General and the Governor, as everybody knows, we are a society of laws. And I have to go by what the Attorney General puts out, and I have to enforce those laws. And as of right now, they've changed in 2022. They revamped the vehicle pursuit. Vehicle pursuit. What else was it?
Use of force policy.
Use of force. I'm sorry, and the Attorney General guidelines. They all put them together, and they revamped them, and they put them out there, and we are doing our best to enforce them as best we can.
Chief, so besides the theft of the car completely, there's this specter that people are coming in and stealing catalytic converters, right? I mean, and it's almost a fear that, oh my gosh, I'm gonna wake up and not be able to start the car because somebody stole my catalytic converter. Could you elaborate a little bit on that portion of this crime?
The catalytic converter, yes, that has stepped up, and I will tell you, I've been here quite some time, and when the economy is good, that type of theft is down. When the economy gets bad, it's an easy grab for the criminal. They get underneath there, they cut it out, they bring it to a junkyard. There's no serial numbers. It's an easy swap for them.
Right.
But with that being said, has it hit Monroe a lot? It's hit us a little bit.
Right.
Not as much as has seemed to be reported. I believe
Surrounding towns, excuse me, sir. The surrounding towns, including towns in north of the county and North Jersey, are getting hit a lot harder than we are. I believe they had a chase in Edison, a foot chase in Edison, where they did catch a few suspects, maybe last week or the week prior. East Brunswick has gotten hit pretty good in the past month or two. I've spoken to the DB commander over there. We have had a few, however, nothing compared to some of the other towns.
Right.
Like the chief said, it's a quick grab for somebody, especially now with battery-powered sawzalls. It's quick. You slide under the car, handheld battery-powered sawzall, 2 cuts and you're out. And a lot of the places that are taking the metal recycling places, there's no serial numbers like you said, so there's no way to really track it.
Right.
there's a lot of automotive, they recycle the automotive, the cars. A lot of people are in business to do that. So this is legitimate business. It's not like it's something, the catalytic, if a guy brings in 5 catalytic converters, it's not out of the norm for these the yards where they turn them in. So, I mean, that's why it's, as of right now, the crime is a bit on an uptick. As I said, not as much as seems to be reported. We've had 10 so far this year. And I don't know how many of them came out of the Board of Ed. Because I know the Board of Ed was also it, so they're not.
So just speaking numbers-wise, maybe Alan, you can jump in on some of the thefts. Let's focus on the auto thefts right now. So what numbers are we looking at?
Sure, and I think I'll explain a little bit of the numbers, and you and I have talked about them a little bit, but it's certainly good to share, and obviously I do talk about them with the chief and the lieutenant as well. In terms of auto thefts, the increase really happened to start around 2020, not just in Monroe, not just in Middlesex County, not just in New Jersey, but across the entire area. So in Monroe, we were previously at 8 auto thefts in 2019. From my notes, we went to 20 in 2020, back down to 17 and 21, and we're at about 22 as of the end of this summer. So you can see that increase that people are experiencing and talking about is real, and it's something that people are feeling in other communities as well. And as the chief mentioned earlier, sometimes people look for the easiest way, like a key fob, to be able to get in, and so certainly we have to deal with that. So we certainly need the cooperation of the residents, and our residents do a great job in sort of doing that, and the messages that the police put out is certainly very positive. But it's just sort of a larger public policy issue in New Jersey that I've been sort of involved with my fellow business administrators and town managers. When it, obviously as the numbers increase across the state, finally the governor stepped forward through the attorney general to do a task force in March. In April, as the chief alluded to, relaxed a little bit of the rules in terms of pursuit. There were, according to the state police, 14,320 car thefts in 2021. So in Monroe, we had 17 of those. As a percentage of our population, if you just divide it amongst the state, we would have 75. But as you can see, at 17, we only have about 22% of the average. But for those 17 people who lost their car and aren't used to that, it's pretty significant. And it's, it's frightening. But we've been mostly steady since 2021 and 22. As I discussed with the chief, a little bit of a increase this past summer, and the lieutenant in August, but settling back down now. And the other part I would like to talk about, because we talk about this at our business administrator meetings too, is a lot of times the people who are doing this, Mayor, and you and I have discussed this, are juveniles under the age of 18. And they're being put into this by career criminals who know that the court system and the justice system limits the ability of punishment. And I know you've spoken with Senator Greenstein and our legislators about the need to reform that and to have higher penalties because they're trying to sort of, for lack of a better word, find a loophole where they might be able to get away with criminal activity without significant punishment. And it's a problem throughout the entire state. So obviously, as you mentioned earlier, increasing us by 12 officers over the last 5 years is great news. And as was mentioned earlier, the catalytic converters being, I think, 10 and 18 the past 2 years is also a crime of opportunity. But overall, we are lower than most in the region, but still not immune to that entire endeavor. And I think I'll just close with, some of the things that I believe the police department and you have done to try and educate the residents to be the eyes and ears is absolutely essential. If you see something suspicious, it's important to report it.
Well, I mean, listen, I'm stating the obvious. I mean, crime prevention is, and this is something that, yes, we have gone out, and it's a team effort, crime prevention. But, one of the things that obviously that I hear that I would want to get the word out is, again, what are we doing to prevent crimes? Obviously you mentioned, increased patrol. Perhaps you want to elaborate a little bit on getting the information out, whether it was the video that we did a month or two ago in regards to scams and car thefts, as well as reaching out to a lot of the other communities and doing on-site presentations about how to prevent crime. But, besides certainly increased patrol, what are we doing to prevent crime and bring people to justice?
Well, sir, we have, I'm in charge of the Detective Bureau here. So my detectives will go out and, like you said, we'll speak to different communities in town. We go to the senior communities a lot. I believe we've been to the Stratford. We've been to a bunch of different communities to talk not only about frauds, but also about locking your cars, how to make sure your house is protected from crime. Your windows are locked. Vacation notices, if you go away, you can report it to the PD, and we'll put it on a list. And this way, guys in patrol will know that they can hit those neighborhoods at night, make sure nothing looks out of the ordinary. So we get out and we do a lot through the Bureau. If we are getting hit in a certain area and we don't believe it is, let's say we're getting hit, but it doesn't appear to be crews coming out of the north and hitting us, like I'd say 90% are. We also have had, more local people who've been committing car burglaries with more of a trend of certain areas of town, either certain nights of the week or in a few nights in a row. The Bureau guys will go out and sit surveillance. We caught a car burglar who was last year that way. She hit, I couldn't even tell you how many cars. She was placed under arrest. So that solved a bunch. Actually, that solved a bunch for us, and I believe she was hitting other towns as well.
Also, the governor put out a grant. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, it's fine with me.
This is great.
Yeah.
This is what the citizens of Monroe need to know, that sometimes there are some success stories in regarding it. And it's more than increased patrol. There are other subtle ways, obviously, professional ways in which you are attacking this.
Yes.
And I appreciate that. So, sorry to interrupt.
That's okay. No, you didn't interrupt. There's a few grants the governor just put out. He put out one which really doesn't affect Monroe, and thank goodness it doesn't. It's a shot triangulation finder. We don't need that. I didn't apply for that. But what they did put out is a ALPR, automatic license plate readers. If anybody local that goes to Freehold Mall, if you pull into Freehold Mall, you see above you it looks like a camera. It's not a camera. It's a license plate reader. They've had that there for years, but the governor then he's allocated money to the state, and you apply for it as a township, and we've applied for it. The PD applied for it. Whether I haven't heard yet whether we're going to get it or not, and if we do get it, we had to list a couple of areas to put it, and I'm not going to tell the areas where I'm going to put it.
Thank you.
They're a huge tool.
They're a huge tool both in auto theft, not only auto theft. Auto theft, they're going to say, oh yeah, there's the stolen car gun, but we'll know when it went through. But this is more for like the burglaries that we may have gotten a partial plate, we may have a partial description. It would help out a lot. I can't elaborate anymore on that. Also, to let you know that the Monroe Township has a door camera registry. You can get that on our website, and you can fill it out if you wanted. You just fill it out, and if something happens, we go knock on your door. We say, hey, listen, can we pull the footage? And you can give it or not give it. But it's a good thing to have. God forbid if you're the one that is the victim of the crime and your neighbor's camera picks it up, we'd be able to utilize that. We have that. I definitely would tell everybody, sign up for Nixle.
Well, this kind of leads into perhaps one of our final questions here is, and again, I'm focusing on that team effort for crime prevention. What can the citizens of Monroe do to be safe, to feel safe, and to take action on their part? Because they're clamoring to want to do something, and we're looking for the professionals to tell us what we can do.
As I started off saying, don't be an easy target. Don't be a crime of opportunity. Don't give them the excuse to be able to open your car door. That's the first thing. And, after that, be vigilant. If something doesn't look right, call it in. 24/7, 365 days a year, we're here. We answer all calls of service. You call the non-emergency number or the emergency number, you're going to get a police officer. We answer all the time. There's not a case, if it's a lesser of a call, hey, listen, my dog ran away or something, and we're going to go out and help you look for it. That may take a little time if they're going to a first aid call, or I'm going to stack the calls or to answer them, and as important as they are, we do that. But if you call that number, you will get a police officer. That you do that. Sign up. I would definitely sign up for the Nixle. Any emergency, you're going to be notified through the Nixle. I would sign up if you have it, either Facebook or join our webpage. We are on all social medias, and just be vigilant. That's the only thing I can say is really be vigilant, and don't be the easy target. make sure everything is locked, make sure all your personal belongings, and please don't leave your keys in the car. I can't stress that
And
enough.
it all sounds like very simple things, but important, for
Yeah,
sure.
absolutely, sir, absolutely.
So as we wrap things up, any final comments?
I would just like to, as I said, I'd like to thank you and the council. You give us you give us all the tools that we need to do our job the best way that we can and to serve the community the best we can. It's an honor to run this department. I have officers like Lieutenant Biennas, very dedicated men and women who really take pride in this department and this township. So it's a pleasure to work here. I like to say that, and also for the people, for the public. You make our jobs easier. As I said, by being diligent and calling in things. If things don't look right, call it in. You're not bothering you. You don't be embarrassed. Go out there. If it's nothing, it's nothing. That's fine. I would definitely encourage that.
So I would care, I care deeply about the safety of the Monroe Township residents, as well as you can see here, our police force. Just want to finish up with just a couple of comments, and again, to reemphasize, if you see something suspicious, call the Monroe Township Police Department immediately. Don't hesitate, don't think about it. That's what they're here for, and don't be embarrassed. And I know there's some hesitation. That 1 second, that 1 minute of hesitation might be the difference between letting somebody run out of Monroe Township with a car or catching them. Our non-emergency number is 732-521-0222, and obviously 911 in case of a life-threatening emergency. We also ask that residents with security cameras can register with the police department at monroetwppolice.org under forms permits. Please check that out. This program helps the police department maintain a database of active cameras if a crime occurs in your neighborhood. The Monroe Township Police Department has prepared a crime prevention video with important tips regarding vehicle security and scams. The video was shared through multiple community outreach channels and certainly can be reviewed at the following web address. If you care to schedule a crime prevention information session in your neighborhood, we'd be happy to have that. Please contact the mayor's office. You can ask for Eileen. The number is 732-521-4400, extension 114. Gentlemen, I thank you. The residents thank you. It's just so important, the commitment from not only the administration but the council to keep you safe, to keep us safe, and it's that team effort of crime prevention, which again is what we all just ask, is for all of us to be safe. And during the times of COVID, and everyone was be well and be safe, and that holds true even during times of where there's for lack of a better term, a crime spree. But again, you are on it. We are on it, and I assure you that we will work together for the safety of Monroe residents. And I thank you for hosting us for the Mayor Dalina show in our police station here. It's an honor to be the mayor of a great town. And thank you to all for watching, and we'll see you next time.
Well, we're back again real quick. I just want to touch on some specific safety numbers. Some numbers were definitely mentioned in reference to motor vehicle thefts. That in 2021 it went from 17. We went from 17 in 2021 to 22 in 2022. There's some other numbers that I think are definitely significant, and the public should definitely know about. You live in the sixth safest community for a reason, and the numbers will definitely support that. Thefts of stolen property, it's trending now. In 2019, we had 139 so far this year, and that was a high for the last 4 years. This year, we're at 74. Robbery, actual robbery is someone using physical force to steal your items from you. In 2019, we had 0. 2020 we had 1, 2021 we had 2, and this year so far 0. Catalytic converter thefts, obviously we touched on that. So far this year 10, As I said, and as it was spoken to, it's a crime again. It usually trends towards how the economy is going. It's an easy hit, and it's we're definitely putting out there, and we're attempting to stop it by putting out active patrols on that. Burglaries in 2019, they're actually a bit higher than in 2021, between 24 and 38. In 2019, there was 38. In 2020, 33. 2021, there was 24. And 2022, there was 35. So we're actually trending down in numbers. You got to feel safe. You should really feel safe. The department is doing their best and doing a great job at keeping these numbers down from year to year. Do you have anything to add, Lieutenant?
I do not. We covered everything. I would like to say that I believe these numbers, statewide, we are the 6th safest city in New Jersey. Our numbers have been low for years. They continue to be low, and I believe that's a testament to the community for calling things in that they see. And I can't emphasize enough the importance of the community calling things in to us. And please, please call things in when you see it at that exact time, and we are going to be coming as fast as we can safely.
In closing, I'd just like to say, you live in a safe town and there's no need to panic. My officers are out 365 days a year, 24 hours a day. Please, and I can't stress this enough, if you see a problem, you think there's a problem, you feel there's a problem, call. Do not be embarrassed. Feel safe in knowing that someone's going to answer that call. Thank you.